So the idea behind Lost River Sessions was just taking a very organic art form from this area and trying to find a way to keep it really in the state that you would see it if you were to go to a live show around the area. So we didn't want to make it feel stagey, we didn't want to make it feel overproduced, we wanted to keep it natural, put the bands in an environment that was natural to them and kind of showcase both the area here as well as the music. And that's what we wanted to do with the idea of Lost River Sessions.
My role in the show is pretty simple. We select bands that we think fit, bands that are honest, that have some sense of integrity, and then we try to record them as honestly and directly as possible.
But it's better than last time.
So I think one of the biggest differences between this show and then other shows out there is that we try to keep it as natural as possible. And by doing that, we put the artists in an environment that is, known around this area throughout Kentucky. We try to keep things in a way that, they look natural, as you would see that, if you were actually there at that show. We want it to feel like you're in the front row of the audience and it's just you and a couple of friends watching this band play. We want to keep that intimacy in the actual show itself. So everything that we do, how we shoot it, how we have the artist perform, how we record the audio and the video, we do with that in mind, that it's an intimate performance, that you're just kind of sitting there in a very natural environment watching this band or artist play.
We select unique locations for each band, and then it's my job to try to capture that moment, which means capturing the band and the unique properties of that acoustic space. What is maybe a little unique about the way that we do that and the way I perform that for the show is that I mic things a little bit more ambiently. We don't use any PA or sound reinforcement. So what the people in attendance hear is exactly what comes out of the singer's voice, what comes off of the instruments at that moment. We're very much trying to just make the artist comfortable. The idea is not to necessarily capture the most signature, unique thing, just to capture something simple and honest and direct. It's the best thing that could happen on that day at that time.
There's a station down by the freight yard. You can always find a ride. The ticket's paid when you climb on board, and it's not too full inside.
So when we actually shoot these shows, we try to do it in almost a cinematic way. Like we like to have shots of the actual space that we're in. You want those big, wide shots, but at the same time, we like to get the extreme close-ups. We want to see hands on strings. We want to see the expression in the singer's face when they're, singing about something that's particularly either emotional or just has a significance to them. So we try to mix and balance how we actually shoot that. So the main thing for us is that it's a mixture of shooting wide shots that show off the actual location we're in, and at the same time really showing the fine details of the artistry and the music. So how they actually play is often something we want to showcase, and that's actually something that's kind of neat and regional itself. How they will actually pluck the guitar or how they'll play a particular instrument. Those are the types of things that we want to focus on just as much as the actual area and the environment itself. So one of the fun things about this show is actually going out and finding the venues that we have the bands perform in. So a lot of times with that, it can be anything from somebody reached out to us and said, hey, I have a venue, I think it would work, and we go and look at it. Or maybe we're just, some days I'll just take a back road and drive around, and all of a sudden you come across this beautiful spot you would have never thought to shoot in, and you just reach out and see if they're interested in hosting one of the shows. For us too, it also comes down to which venues fit the sound that the band has, both acoustically, but also visually. Does it kind of match the persona that band is performing with? So that's actually kind of one of the funnest things I think of this show, is actually marrying a band with this venue or location that just fits, and then letting the, I guess, the characteristics of both things kind of work and merge together.
I'm very passionate about this program. Lost River Sessions is something that I feel there's been a need for a long time. We all know it living in this area. We have an amazing tradition, a lot of talent, and so much of it just goes under the radar.
I've never been a musician myself, but I've always loved music. To me, it's kind of like the photo book of my life. Like, a lot of people take pictures and that's how they remember events in their life. For me, it's songs. You know, I can always relate to a song, and as soon as I hear it, I go right back to where I was the first time I heard that song, or the first time it had, I guess, an emotional connection with me. So to be able to work and take what I do with video and then marry that to music was just, it was a blessing. It was something that I'd always wanted to do. And you know, this area, both Bowling Green, but not only this, but like Kentucky, Nashville, you know, all through this region, the music is just so rich. It's so much a part of the culture here. It's so much a part of the history. So to be able to tie that in with the program, and then just, you know, honestly, it's just fun. It's just fun to have bands in there playing. So it's something that I love to do. I love to get some of these bands more exposure. I guess my philosophy is there's no really direct correlation between a band that sells a bunch of albums and considering them a success versus a band that just plays, you know, in little venues here and there. To me, it's all about the music. And I think there's so many bands here that people, especially outside of this area, wouldn't know about, but would love if they could just hear it. So to be able to take a medium like video and kind of put these bands in that scenario and get them out there to the rest of the world, I mean, that's really what it's all about for me.
I would love to see the program get some attention. I'd love to see the station do well with it, and I'd love to be able to continue to invite people from the region and beyond who are interested in recording and capturing a great afternoon vlog music.